So, are you currently a student in maybe high school or university and you have no sense of time management? I mean, like, you got no idea what's going on. You do things for too long or for too little, constantly failing classes, assignments, being behind. Your friends hate you and all this stuff. Well, if this sounds like you, well, it was me for what, 2 years maybe. And today, I'm going to teach you everything I know about managing your time as a student. Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan Aquino and I help teach the next generation. So I'm going to teach you how to manage your time specifically as a student, because I know a lot of my viewers are probably students or trying to finish school. Maybe their dream is to be like a doctor or something. And I'm going to do whatever I can to help you with managing your time. So I'm going to give you a bunch of tips, helpful tips. Take them in mind, and if you use them, you're going to have a swell time in school. So the first thing and the big thing I want you to get out of your head right now: avoid cramming. Just don't do it. Genuinely, if you try and study the night before the exam, 4 hours, like 4 hours of studying, it's just not going to do anything for you. You won't remember a damn thing. What you should do instead is, you still have 4 hours, right? Break that up into day by day. And instead of studying 4 hours in one day, study 1 hour over 4 days. This will help with long-term memorization, which you need for these exams that require you to remember stuff. I know I tried this on my final, where she gave us a study guide. The professor gave us a study guide of all the terms that were going to be on the exam that were going to be in some way related to it. So 3 weeks beforehand, I started writing out, why is it important? What time did it take place? A simple summary of it. I did that every day for a week. And then every day for about 20-30 minutes, I would just go and revise it. I got 94. And I spent maybe 4 or 5 hours on the entire study guide, and I got a 94. So I'm telling you, if I had done the cramming, I probably would have gotten a C. But because I did the optimal way, got an easy A. I was done in like half an hour, and everyone else took like an hour. Like, it was so mind-numbingly easy, that essay. So the next thing, and I should mention on the same note of the cramming, actually, before I go to the next one, is just go to sleep instead. You have a better chance of succeeding if you just get a good night's sleep compared to cramming and having a terrible sleep. Because I tried that, where I went to sleep at like 2, my exam was at 7, and I crammed, and I got a barely passing grade. So it's really not worth cramming. So the next thing would be, so this idea of self-care days and self-care time, I find it pretty pointless, but I do understand some of us need to have those self-care days. So be experimental with them. I know when I was really dialing in on my time management, I know I would be like, man, I gotta play like 3 hours worth of video games to like wind down and relax, and I gotta watch this thing, I gotta do this thing that's not related to school. It's like, no, I don't think you need all that. So what you could do, so for example, my bad habit during that time was the video games. So what I did was, instead of playing for 3 hours, I cut it down to about 2 hours and see if that made a difference. It really didn't, in terms of how much time I felt like I enjoyed the time playing video games. But in return, I got back an hour, so I could spend that hour doing assignments. So you have to kind of figure out what you want to do for your self-care time. Personally, I just wouldn't do it. It seems stupid. I gotta do this routine and spend a whole day of doing it. It's kind of dumb. What I would prefer is just take time to yourself, recover, rest, meditate, read. Like, that's self-care time, not any of this other crap. After that, what I wish I would have done, and what you should probably do, is if I'm saying I wish I did it, you should probably do it. What would your ideal week of school look? So you're never going to get to the ideal, probably. But what would your ideal school day be? And try your best to live up to that expectation of the ideal school week. Because let's say so you wake up at this time every day, you have classes at this time you always go to, you set this time for studying, you set this time for assignments, and you set this time for friends, extracurriculars, clubs, etc., etc. And that's the type of schedule you should try and live up to. Obviously, there's going to be distractions and other stuff that might come up that might take your attention. But if you can create an ideal schedule in your mind or like in a separate calendar or something, and try to map out your own calendar in a manner that's all as close to similar as possible to the ideal, you will do a lot better because you're always working towards the ideal and never working towards something that is imaginary, where it's like, oh, I guess I'll do this or I'll do this or I'll do that whenever o'clock. Like, no, you have the times. Here are the times you should try and aim for. You're a bit behind. That sucks, but you're still doing it. You're a bit ahead. Great. That's even better. So try to find your ideal time, create it, and try and stick to it as best as you can. Then the next one would be conscious about how you spend your time. So you're a student. You're surrounded by people who are also students. So make sure you maximize the amount of time and enjoyment you get in school. So I did one of them. I maximized my time where I kind of did everything and got it out of the way like that. Like I finished essays weeks before they were supposed to be done. As projects a month before they were done. I felt like I could have gotten more out of college had I done the enjoyment. I didn't attend extracurriculars. I didn't attend events. I didn't really hang out with people. I talked with people, but I didn't really hang out with people. So what I would say is try and find that balance. If you're in college, try to have some fun too. I would definitely recommend, because those memories will be pretty fun to like look back on, because I don't have anything to look back on positively on college. Honestly, I have nothing because I didn't spend the time. When you go back and you're trying to tell stories to people, you'll probably have a lot more than I will when it comes to college, because all I say is, yeah, I went and then I didn't go to graduation and that was it. Like, it was that simple. So if you have stories with it, it's a lot better. And honestly, the stories will honestly benefit you in a lot of different ways that I won't even go here, but there's a lot of different ways that these stories will help you on. So make sure you enjoy your time that you spend there. It's not just a prison or something. It's just enjoy your time to the best of your ability. So another one is nothing good happens after 2 a.m. So I didn't really stay up to that time. I stayed up to like midnight, but whenever I did stay up past 2 a.m., yeah, that didn't really end well for me. I was usually pretty drunk or on the phone, and yeah, that never ended well for me. So you should really try and sleep beforehand, or try and get all your like deep chat and all that stuff with your buddies before 2 a.m. because after that, shit just hits the fan. I don't know why. It just happens. It's kind of weird, but it just happens. And nah, just go to sleep instead. Just go to sleep early. Oh, my favorite one. Use a calendar and follow it religiously. I don't think you understand how many people don't have a calendar. I could probably ask you right now, and more often than not, you don't have one. I'm just saying, I know you don't. I know you don't have a calendar. Use it. It's free. I'm pretty sure the university gives you a Gmail account or something, because I know mine gave me one. Use the calendar. I don't understand why you're not using it. You're actually literally the rest of the video. You could ignore everything I say. You need to make a calendar right goddamn now. Right now. When do you go to sleep? What time do you eat? What time do your classes? What time do you hang out with friends? What time are your events? Put it on the calendar. That's it. It's so easy and so few people do it. So put it right now. Make a calendar. Thank you. Anyway, make sure you schedule everything that you do. As I said, your classes, extracurriculars, this and that, friends. Like, you need to make sure all that's scheduled so you know when you have it, and if you can make time for more stuff that may come up during the week, because obviously more stuff comes up during the week. You never know, so you want to make sure you have the time for that. So if you have it scheduled and it's like, hey, do you want to hang out at 3? It's like, I got class at 3 and then I got something to do after like 3:30, so I can't. If you just say yes and you're like, oh shit, I have 2 things and I've already said yes, well, I guess I'll skip class. Like, no, schedule it so you know what's going on. After that, this one, you can or can't do it. It just depends on who you are. Embrace welcome distractions. So this one mainly boils down to friends, really. If let's say you leave your door open, a couple of friends come in that want to hang out, and you're not in a particularly like heavy study or assignment session, then yeah, by all means, go ahead and hang out with them, because you know, you build connections, you build friendship, you build camaraderie, you talk about life and such. Like, that's good stuff. I would 100% recommend that. But if it's like a distraction, it was like, hey, let's get drunk. Is it alright if we smoke weed in your room? It's like, that stuff can get in the fucking bin. Get in the fucking sea. But you should definitely embrace the welcoming distractions that you want personally, not the ones that you don't want. Now, obviously, if you're extremely busy, you know, maybe go to the library, maybe like let people know, yeah, like don't bother me. Like, I'm going to be just hardcore working. Like, but if it's like an easier time and someone comes in and is like, hey, can we have a chat? Let's talk about some life over coffee and stuff. That's honestly fine. You know, building up friendship, that's important. So keep that in mind. Then whenever there's downtime, use that for studying or assignments. I know whenever the university had like closed, like days off, that's when I would work even harder on the assignments and the studying, because if I did that extra work, then that means I do less work at the end of the semester. I'll put it into context for you. So my semester ended end of April, but because I kept taking no days off and hustling during the days when the schools were closed, I was done, everything submitted, and I would say at the minimum everything was completed, like work wise. I would say about mid-March. So I had about a month and a half of like, throw whatever you got at me, because that's literally the only priority I've got. Oh, you've got nothing? All right, I'll go do something more important then. It was so simple. So easy, because I took those extra days. I think it was President's Day? I finished an entire course's work in a day, because I was like, I'm not gonna do anything else. Just get it out of the way, and I don't have to worry about it again. Simple as that. So whenever there's days off, at least try to study, try to complete assignments, stuff like that. Next step, and probably the last one, is choose to be satisfied with how you spend your time. So if you decided that you didn't feel like you did a lot, you didn't succeed in what you wanted to do, like you say instead of getting like 2 pages of essays done, you only got like 1 or like a half, and it's like, damn, that shit sucked, that day was a wash. That's not the mindset you should have. You should have more of a, okay, well, I did a little bit less than I wanted to, but you know what, at least I did something, at least I was productive. You got to think positive, because then tomorrow you'll be like, all right, so I didn't do a lot, but today we're going to do a hell of a lot to make up for it. Instead of, if you were thinking I wasted my day, it was like, well, I mean, I'm probably just going to waste today again, so might as well just not even do it. And then you just don't do it. Try to have a positive mindset with how you choose to be satisfied with how you spend your time. Always be satisfied with what you've done, because there was a day where I did, I think, just annotations for an assignment, and that was it. And I was like, you know, I mean, I could have done more, but like, shit, I got the annotations out the way, so I don't have to do that. All right, I can focus on the essay tomorrow. And then what did I do? Tomorrow I did the essay. If I said, that's all I did, annotations, that was a fucking waste. Guess I just won't do them anymore. I wouldn't have done the essay. So keep that in mind. Keep all these in mind. All these tips are very useful for managing your time as a student. But I mean, if you do all of them, you're not going to struggle at all as a student, because your time management will be on point. So if you need any further help with time management, there's a link in the description with my one-on-one coaching and sales call for our time management coaching. So if you want to improve your time management, click that link down below. Let's get talking, and let's get you up to the next level of time management. Take care, everyone.